And it was so funny because for years she would call me Jo Koy. And I'm like, okay, so it's Jo Koy. And then all of a sudden we're eating and she's like, I don't call you Jo Koy. She goes, you call yourself Jo Koy. And I'm like, what? She goes, it's Jo Koy.
The OHP Uncut Podcast with Kannon.
What's up, Jo Koy?
How are you?
It's crazy. I felt like I started following you I don't know what it was, 10 years ago on Corolla. And now here you are. You're a movie star.
I'm on cloud 9 right now.
Yeah, man. With a big Hollywood release and red carpets and the whole deal, man.
Yeah. It's even crazy to have this conversation that we produced a film based on this family. And, and now we're promoting this to the world. To say that it would never have been done, I was going to do it. But to say that it's being done on this scale is it's a dream come true.
Now, this movie is kind of loosely based around the real you in a way and your real life son. How much input did he have into it, if any at all? And how close to true life is this?
For the development of the movie and the storyline, it's there was more, a little bit more drama in the movie. My son is his dad is a stand-up comic and that's all he knows, I feel bad thinking about, the things that I missed, certain birthdays and holidays. But now with this movie coming out and the story that's being told, my son understands the importance of why I did what I had to do to make this happen. And that feels good because I feel like it's not me that accomplished this. I feel like it was us. My son's a big, big part of my career.
Now, Tia Carrere, I don't know if you grew up a fan of her the way I did, but was it kind of just surreal working with her? What an incredible experience.
That was my move, man. Yeah. All the Tia and of course Lou, that was the first thing I said when I got this deal. I was like, I got to have them in this movie. We have to work them out in this movie somehow. And, getting Tia as my aunt, was an incredible process. But plus me and Tia are friends before this movie anyway. But she's the reason why I'm able to have this movie. When I was a kid watching, movies and just trying to find something that looked like me or, talk like me, walk like me. When I saw Tia Carrere hit the screen for the first time, when I was in the theater, I just remember saying to myself, that woman is definitely Filipino. And I'm going to wait till the end credits to see what her last name was. And when I saw Carrere, I was like, Filipino, that inspired me. That changed my life. So, I had to have her in this movie. And this cool thing about Tia is, we had so many conversations, while filming this thing. And the one thing she always told me was, Joe, this is the first movie in my 40 years in Hollywood that I've ever got to audition and perform as a Filipino. Never, ever has she ever had that in her 40 years in Hollywood. She's never been offered a character that was Filipino. She never had to go out and audition for one or be one. And by the way, when I say audition, she just read the lines. We just wanted to see he was getting the part no matter what.
Now, Filipino food is fire. That is a fact. And some of the best I ever had was actually in Amsterdam. I had heard somewhere that you and Howie Mandel were working together and that you might actually put together a Filipino restaurant. How much truth is there to that?
Oh, yeah. We're still going to make that happen. When that first came about, that came about just before the pandemic hit. And then right when the pandemic hit, of course, we're not going to do anything. But Howie's for real. He loves it. I took Filipino food to his office in Van Nuys, and his mind exploded. Literally, he was just like, wait a minute. I've never tasted anything like this before. I've never had flavors like this before. What is this? What is this? And I told him it was Filipino food. He's like, I love it. I go, well, I want to make a restaurant. And he goes, I'll financially back it. So he's serious. He always calls me and says he's serious. So when I can get a little time and we can come up with a great concept, it's going to happen.
Are there not a bunch of Filipino restaurants in LA?
No, I mean there are, but there's fusions and there's nothing where it's mainstream. It's still for some reason on the come up, and that's why presenting our food in this movie was so important to me. That's why when we were shooting that table scene, I was in it. Like, I was like, that needs more sauce and that doesn't look fresh. And I was just like, we're about to showcase our food, and I'm not going to do a crappy version of it. I wanted to make it look the best. I wanted people to go to the movies and be like, "Ooh, I want to try that."
So me as an amateur, like, give me like a good like jump off dish. What's like a favorite dish if I want to start to get my feet wet in Filipino culture?
Chicken adobo, hands down. That's my childhood favorite to this day. I mean, I don't eat meat anymore, but when I did, it was chicken adobo, every single night. I love it. Like, I even have my own style that I make where I bake it in the oven. So
yum.
Yeah, it's incredible. So that's my favorite go-to, but unfortunately I don't eat meat anymore.
Talk to me about that fried crispy pork. Come on, man.
Lechon.
Now, your name, Jo Koy, famously came from your aunt, and then you later found out that it was supposed to be Jo Koy. Did you ever consider going back and changing it?
I was already 30 years in at that point. So how funny is that? I had no idea what the Jo Koy was, and every interview would be like, "Why Jo Koy, your nickname?" And I'd be like, "I don't know. My aunt just calls me Jo Koy." And it was so funny because for years she would call me Jo Koy, and I'm like, "Okay, so it's Jo Koy." And then all of a sudden we're eating, and she was like, "I don't call you Jo Koy." She goes, "You call yourself Jo Koy." And I'm like, "What?" She goes, "It's Jo Koy. Your nickname is Jo Koy. I always called you Jo Koy. You changed it." I'm like, I had no idea. And then when she said, I was like, holy shit, that's what it means. Koy means my Joe. She would call me my Joe. That was my nickname. And I had no idea. 30 years, I didn't know that my nickname was my Joe.
This was all your fault, like misunderstanding her back in like the 90s or something.
Well, I always say that, she would always say it when she was done cooking. It would be always Jo Koy eat. Jo Koy eat. So I guess I hear Jo Koy. I never put Jo Koy eat. So I don't know. That's where I got Jo Koy. It's the weirdest thing because even my cousin Mona, which is her mom, even she thought it was Jo Koy. That's the crazy. So we don't even know. I don't know.
And now, before we go, let's do 5 random questions with Jo Koy. All right, here we go. Jo Koy, what's the last song you turned up really loud?
God, what is it called? I don't know. Jail. Kanye West, Jail.
Number 2, who is your best friend in the world?
Wanye Morris would be one. I love him to death. And then I got another one. His name's Chen Young. He's been there since the beginning when I used to rent out theaters in Vegas. He's always been there for me. And then, of course, my manager, Joe.
What is your go-to cocktail?
I don't really like to drink, but if I did.
No one said it had to be alcoholic. It could be a non-alcoholic drink. That's cool.
Ooh, non-alcoholic. I got one for you. It's an iced Americano with vanilla in it. So much when I pee, it smells like coffee.
It is a weird coffee phenomenon. Why does that happen?
This is a good interview.
I'm having fun. What would you be doing if you weren't doing stand-up?
I would be writing jokes for a comic.
Final question. If you could have dinner with any fictitious character from anything you want, who would it be and why?
That's a tough one. Optimus Prime, a robot that's a truck from outer space.
After dinner, you don't have to call an Uber. You've already got a ride.
Coolest deep voice. What?
We've never had that answer before.
I knew it too. I was like, this is a horrible answer.
That's Jo Koy. The movie is Easter Sunday in theaters now. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The OHP Uncut Podcast with Kannon.